As you can see, class is in session once again. Today we have Mystic Codes. That is what we're going to be going over today. So teacher Daikun, hey, he already knows I don't have to be here because I know I've been missing a couple of classes, but he knows I do not need to be here to be successful. He knows I be in the books. I be reading, I be studying, and can perform well on the assignments. Come on now, I mean, it just gotta be like that. It's like to where you don't even gotta be at class, and you can perform well. But for real though, yeah, we're going to be looking at Mystic Codes. Yeah, and I'm gonna start looking at some more of these. Maybe on Thursday actually, because I do not upload anything on Thursdays. Yeah, I use that day to really get the Naruto upload done, because I'm looking at 4 episodes. So I just really sit there, edit all of that, so it can be ready on Friday, and then I'll just be done basically for the week after I do My Hero that Saturday. But yeah, hope you guys will enjoy this though. Make sure you like, subscribe, and let's just get this reaction started.
In our previous lesson, I spoke of how mages exchange mystic eyes via the auction train Rail Zeppelin.
The Rail Zeppelin.
Given that mystic eyes are treated as a commodity among mages, I believe it's appropriate for us to transition to another heavily commodified aspect of the craft. That being
commodified. I like that one. Add that to the vocabulary.
Mystic codes are artifacts that grant their users magical potential they may not otherwise possess. They are often used in tandem with a mage's natural abilities, so it's important we cover them in a lesson of their own. Basically, a mystic code is a tool or weapon designed by and meant to work in tandem with Magecraft. They can range from things like a protective garment, or perhaps a gun that channels mana. Some amplify a mage's potential, while others are specialized and have a very specific function. Certain families treat mystic codes like their own magic crests, passing them down from generation to generation while making improvements. These are called supreme mystic codes. In general, though, a code's potential lies in the creativity and innovation of its maker, making it hard to bundle mystic codes into rigid categories. There are enough unique cases, often being catered to a specific mage's style, that once again I feel it is best to teach through example. By exploring the different types of codes that already exist, perhaps you might find the inspiration to design your own.
Inspiration, yeah, I guess so.
Dangerous codes, the 7 super weapons of Atlas, specifically Black Barrel. I'll keep this brief as I've already covered Black Barrel in my lesson on Atlas, but it is essentially a conceptual rifle
that was a while back actually for me.
Otherwise immortal creatures. It is known as a gun that kills gods, and has for the most part been sealed away.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Sealing or killing gods.
Used by the Atlas alchemist Sion.
I gotta get rid of that.
Taking the shape of a CZ-75 handgun, Barrel Replica damages its targets relative to their natural lifespan. The longer the target's lifespan, the more effective Replica's shots become. To use its strongest form, Barrel Replica Obelisk, Sion must make use of her other mystic code called Etherlight, which is passed down her family. While taking the shape and function of a whip, Etherlight is an artificial nervous system that can penetrate a target's skin and read their thoughts and memories.
Read their thoughts and memories.
It is a tool that can discharge electricity to kill or invade the nervous
system.
Yeah,
you don't want to get cut by that.
When it comes to the Replica Obelisk, Sion uses Etherlight to ground herself to resist the gun's recoil. More humble is the Salamander's Glove, utilized by Asaka Kokuto, a fledgling mage who can surprisingly use Magecraft without having magic swords.
Seen her a lot.
She has an inborn ability to cause spontaneous combustion, and so her mentor, Toko Aozaki, gifted her a pair of salamander skin gloves that amplify her otherwise weak output. The gloves, in addition to her understanding of Magecraft through music, give a mostly ordinary girl like Asuka an advantage over vampiric enemies. Another mystic code designed to compensate for a mage's lack of ability is the Book of the False Attendant. Shinji Mato, a completely inept mage,
Oh, that book that he used, yeah.
War, even though it was his adopted sister Sakura the Grail chose to bestow with command spells. To grant Shinji the ability to control Sakura's servant Medusa, Zoken Mato modified a book of magical contracts into a surrogate command spell. Essentially, a single one of Sakura's spells was implanted in the book, granting Shinji temporary control of her servant.
Yeah, I don't think I never actually
issue orders to Medusa,
thought about it. Like, what did the book do?
Energy. As such, Medusa is far weaker under his command, and the book itself is quite fragile, capable of being burned to nullify.
Yeah, I saw that already.
In addition to books, many mages prefer the use
Took
of
a writer
in
an instant there.
Codes.
Yeah.
Different brands are made with different abilities, from constructing defensive spells to establishing bounded fields. The mage Waver Velvet, upon taking over the name Lord Elmalloy II, chose cigars as his mystic code because, to him, they seemed more appropriate for a lord. Technically speaking, the dual Magecraft used by the Tosaka and Edelfelt families count as mystic codes. By imbuing jewels with mana, mages like Reen can cast powerful spells in rapid succession.
So, yeah, that can
Tokiomi in particular
be considered a code as well.
Tip he could invoke to cast devastating fire spells.
See, look, even the staff.
The Azoth dagger he gifted to his protege Kirei worked in
and
a
the
very similar
dagger.
manner. Rather than a weapon for cutting, the Azoth dagger's true use was in storing mana to be invoked at a later point in time. It was crafted from precious Tosaka heirloom jewels, and should have been accepted honorably. Foolishly, however, Kirei used it as a traditional blade to murder Tokiomi.
Yeah,
and he
took
even
him
had the
out.
gall to pass the blade
And then
onto
pass it
Tokiomi's
on,
daughter,
yeah.
In a bit of karmic justice, however,
The boy
Reen
Kida
spent
and
many
Menace.
years charging the dagger and entrusted it to Shiro, who used
Yeah,
it
and
to
then
kill
Shiro
Kirei
used
once and
it
for all.
on him.
This is impressive, considering the Tosaka's Azoth dagger is actually a replica of an original carried by Paracelsus von Hohenheim. The original, called the Sword of Paracelsus, magic sword of the element user, had embedded into its hilt a Philosopher's Stone, granting Paracelsus the ability to turn lead into gold, as well as cure illness.
Hey, I want that ability.
Debatably a much
Get
more
all the
dangerous
gold I
weapon is
can.
Ragnarok, gouging sword
Hey.
of the war god. Perhaps more fittingly,
Don't gotta worry
it is
about
also
money for
called
life.
Answerer. That which comes later cuts first. It certainly doesn't appear as a traditional sword, and that is because the blade is there to conceptually cut time. This mystic code is the ultimate counterattack, designed to throw an enemy's strongest attack back at them. Though it can only be used after an attack is launched, which you might think would endanger its user.
So it's just
However,
a counter,
when Ragnarok
basically.
does activate, it rewrites causality to ensure it strikes first, sending a needle-thin blast into the enemy before they can even launch their attack. The
Yeah,
stronger
so
the
never
attack,
mind.
The stronger the counterattack. Thanks to this, Bazet Fraga McRemitz, a mere hunter of the Mages Association, can use Fragarok to defeat servants,
Yeah.
despite being a human.
You can strike them
It's a
first
fitting
before
weapon
they
for her,
even
as she
can
hails from Ireland,
do their
where
attack.
Fragarok was originally the
Really.
short sword of the Celtic sea god Amananan. This means that it is technically a noble phantasm being used as a mystic code, leading many to underestimate its potential. Those who are aware of the danger, however, are caught in a stalemate, unable to launch their greatest attacks out of fear of retaliation. The different shrouds kept by the Holy Church are considered mystic codes. In particular, Kirei's daughter Karen Hortensia possesses the Shroud of Magdalene, a red cloth that can bind men. While this can be useful, it does come with a caveat. The men entrapped by the shroud cannot be harmed, else the binding go loose. Thus, it cannot be used offensively. On a side note, the cloak worn by heroic spirit Emiya is also made from a holy shroud. Certainly one
A
of
flip
the
phone?
most bizarre mystic codes belongs to Kabak Alcatraz,
Hold
a mage
up.
who used magical research to become a vampire. He's been missing for over a century, but some suspect that he lives on in the mystic code Mr. Cell Phone. a functioning
Mr.
flip
Cell
made
Phone,
by
you're
Keisha Zelrich
crazy.
Schweinorg. While most certainly a product of Magecraft, Mr. Cell Phone functions just like any other mobile phone, despite housing a man who's been alive for over 800 years.
So housing someone inside of
Stolpa, one of
there.
the 12 paladins of Charlemagne, got his hands on a number of mystic codes during his lifetime,
Oh,
all of which
huh?
function as his noble phantasms as a servant. One of them is Casseur de la Justice, Destruction Declaration.
I'm not even gonna
which
try
is
and
book
pronounce
that
that.
renders him immune to modern Magecraft.
But I remember that book,
La
yeah.
Justia, the Benevolent Witch, also gave Astolfo La Black Luna magic flute that calls panic. It is a hunting horn that, when blown, releases an explosion of sound that destroys the land around it, even chasing away monsters as strong as harpies. It changes both size
So it's
and
like
shape so that Astolfo can wear it around his belt when not using
already, yeah, I've already seen
Argalia,
examples
down
of
with a
these
touch,
codes.
was a golden lance belonging to Argalia,
And
Prince
that
of
too,
Cathay.
yeah.
Its magical properties
Whether it
ensure
was in the
that its
form of a
strikes will
book,
always bring
weapon.
targets to their knees, allowing Argalia to
Yeah, I've
win
already
many
seen it.
jousting matches. Astolfo took possession of it and later handed it off to his cousin Bradamante.
Especially those
The
books,
lance
yeah.
strikes not primarily to kill, though it certainly can, but rather to turn an enemy into spirit form below the knees, causing them to fall.
Oh, you know what?
The mage Eris Utsumi made her own
That's
hand
exactly what
carved
happened with
into a mystic
Berserker.
code that functions as a communication
Took his
device.
leg, but just turned as this spirit
Sometimes a
form.
mystic code can serve to augment a mage's physical abilities rather than deficiencies in their craft. Such is the case for wheelchair-bound Fiore Forve Giga de Millennia and her code, Bronze Link Manipulators.
Oh, I know who he's talking
Collectively,
about.
the manipulators
Yeah,
are a
her.
spider-like exoskeleton that provides her mobility and weaponry. Its arms are named after Roman gods and can be invoked to deflect projectiles, crush obstacles, or fire bullets.
Yeah, that was
Another
pretty
multi-purpose
impressive.
mystic code is Ad, though it was created long
Doing
ago
that,
by King Arthur's sister Morgan
and she
Le Fay
couldn't really
to seal
use
the
her
divine
own
lance from
legs.
Romaniad. Sir Kay of the Round Table served as the basis for Ad's personality, and over time, Ad found himself in the possession of Grey, a descendant of Arthur. She has Ad transform between various weapons, such as a scythe, hammer,
Oh yeah,
bow,
that
and
scythe
shield.
looking cool right
Most
there.
importantly, however, Ad can release the seal on Rongominiad, allowing Grey to wield the destructive spear in battle. Speaking of Morgan Le Fay, she once carried a golden dagger, known as Erosion, penetrating blade of gold. Fitting for a manipulating witch, Morgan used it to sever the connection between a person's basic components, that being their mind, soul, and body. Mystic codes are not simply
Oh, what
limited
is
to
that?
the physical world. They can also exist within the Moon Cell's simulated world, Seraph. In one of its many Holy Grail wars, the Servant Nursery Rhyme unleashed a monster known as the Jabberwock.
Servant
who was
Nursery
famous
Rhyme?
poem. In the tale, the Jabberwock can only be defeated by a legendary Vorpal blade, and so competitors Hakuno Kishinami and Rani VIII team up to create one from malachite. This blade is a one-use mystic code, made exclusively to weaken the Jabberwock in combat. I mentioned before that mystic codes can be passed down as heirlooms, and one of the better examples is Volumen Hydrargyrum, Marrow of the Moon Spirit, possessed by Cainith El Malloy Archibald.
Oh, that
It is a composite fluid of mana and mercury. That
yeah,
can be shaped
whatever
with
that
control
was.
of
That
will. It serves
whatever
as Cainith's
protected
weapon, his
that
figurative sword and shield.
where yeah, it looked like silver.
Various commands put the mercury into different modes of action.
Yeah, mercury.
One form, for instance, restores the mercury to its true weight. Its automated defense mode allows it to remain in a small
Yeah, that's
mass that
pretty cool to
follows
have
around
as
a
well.
bodyguard. To respond to threats,
Just
the masked
Kiritsugu
shape
shut
of
it
the
down,
shield
though.
supports
That's all I'm
whips
gonna
and
say.
other blades,
Yo.
its shape can change into that of a barrier to protect Cainith
Shut it
from
down and
oncoming
shut down
attacks.
Archibald
It
too.
also has an automated search function that works by spreading itself thin into arms that explore an area while looking for living things. The Hydrargyrum's greatest weakness is that, due to the mercury, it can only detect enemies through vibrations in the air. In other words, sound and movement. Thus, if a mage like Kiritsugu Emiya can slow his heartbeat and breathing, the mercury will not detect him as a living being. After Cainith was killed in the Fourth Holy Grail War, this mystic code was passed on to Waver when he became Lord Elmalloy II. With it, he assisted Rhinus Elmalloy Archisort in
Oh, you know what? I
reprogramming
gotta
Mercury
see
to
that
function as a
too.
multi-purpose maid golem named Trimao.
Cause I know there's
She
an
acts as
anime
Rhinus's
with
personal attendant
Waver
and
in it.
bodyguard. Of course, Cainith's defeat came at the hands of
Say,
Kiritsugu
I'm gonna
Emiya,
check
the
that
mage killer.
out.
Or rather, it was Kiritsugu's mystic code, the Thompson Contender, that decided their battle. While it looks like the kind of gun one can purchase, Kiritsugu's Thompson Contender was modified into
Oh
a
no,
unique
that is more
spellcasting
special
pistol
than just
that only
some
mages can fully
regular
utilize.
gun you can
While a
use.
spellcasting firearm is certainly useful, Thompson is most deadly when combined with Kiritsugu's origin bullets, shells made from his ribs, inheriting his origin of severing and binding. To a mage, they can cut and rearrange their magic circuits,
Yeah.
permanently incapacitating a mage should they manage
Take
to
them
survive at
apart
all.
and put them back
Like many of
together
the
in a
weapons described
completely
so
different
far,
way.
The stronger the mage, the harsher their rebound.
To where now you
Returning to
can't
a
even
more
use
traditional code,
your
we have Prelati Spellbook,
Magecraft or
textbook of the Sunken
anything.
Spiral Castle.
Can't use
Despite the name
nothing.
of its translator, Francois Prelati, the book's original text comes from Urlier, the lost city written about by H.P. Lovecraft. Bound in moist human skin, the spellbook contains horrifying knowledge.
See,
of
look,
the
just more
Afterglow
books.
Cthulhu. It is a mystic code that summons nightmarish tentacle familiars, and sadly, it
And
came
that's
into possession of the anti-hero
Caster,
Gilles
right?
de Rais, who used it
Yeah.
to torture and murder children. Lastly, I want to talk about the more iconic mystic codes made by the sorcerer Zelrech. Most famously, there is the Jeweled Sword, a blade that draws infinite mana from parallel worlds. Such a sword can only exist due to Zelrech possessing the true magic kaleidoscope. Normally, it is meant to be possessed exclusively by Zelrech himself, but he also left the blueprints to recreate it with the Tosaka family. Thus, Shiro Emiya, using his tracing Magecraft, was able to help Reen and Iliasfeel project a copy of the blade. More obscure are definitely the
Yeah?
Golden Six, Ruby and Sapphire. Perhaps a
No
sign
way to
of
go to
Zelrech's
part of
refined
this.
tastes. These wands transform their users into magical girls.
Yeah, I
using
know
their
that.
code To assist in firing energy blasts, forming shields, and performing other combat functions. When strange anomalies known as class cards began to appear, Zelrech designed the wands to be capable of invoking their power by installing them into their
Hey,
users.
hold up. I ain't gonna get
Similar to
spoiled,
that,
right?
Ruby and Sapphire have their own personalities and can act independent of their owners. Admittedly, this is both helpful and annoying beyond compare. In summation, the term
Okay.
Mystic Code refers to all the physical tools mages design for primary and supplemental use.
Yeah, those
They
tools.
can be used to amplify a mage's strengths, compensate for their shortcomings, embody a family's legacy, and perform all manner of unique functions. Among mages of different abilities and techniques, mystic codes are a great equalizer. Of course, they should always be approached with caution, as most are quite dangerous. Staying on the theme of weapons, our next lesson will be about divine constructs, weapons forged by the planet from the wishes of
I was
mankind.
about to say, what are those? Okay, but that is it for this one. Yeah, Mystic Code. So it's literally things that I have. Hold on, let me fix these real quick. You know, well, like they tilted a little bit, but it's whatever. I don't even need them anyways, really. But things that I've seen already, like especially the books, those are like the best examples, because it's like things that I would never think about that could have been Mystic Codes, you know. And it's like, yeah, me being able to learn more about it. Like Caster's, I guess his was just specifically those tentacle-like things that came out of it. Then you had, you know what, like Shinji, I never even thought about it. Like, what could he actually do with that? But I see now. Then who was it? Oh, yeah, him. Astaful. Yeah, actually, Astaful had a good amount of useful tools at his disposal. Cause I remember, like, I saw him take out Berserker's leg. I'm like, okay, wow, that quick? Like, yeah, you can just do it that easily. But no, it really just turns it into spirit form to where, yeah, basically it looked like the leg is taken off. But that's still a useful weapon to have. Like, yeah, just thinking about being able to use it like that. Yeah, flip phone, yeah. Okay. But yeah, just simply the tools and all that I might have seen already. And it could have been, yeah, like this dagger. Like, I do remember something about, yeah, the being able to store like that mana inside of it. So yeah, just something more than just a simple dagger. Kirisugu, something more than a simple gun. Like, no, it has something inside of it that can go through that mercury that Archibald had and completely just shut everything down. You know, hit Archibald with it, he's done. You know, that's it. Like, you know, hey man, those what was it, the circuits come undone, then put it back together, Nah, they're not getting put back together the right way. No, that's a completely different way to where he can't do anything no more. And then something as simple as this, yeah, his was it staff cane or whatever he had? But yeah, Shinji, yeah, that was the one I never even thought about really, because I saw him using it, but never thought like, yeah. I mean, well, I was thinking like, yeah, what was he doing with it? But yet, yeah, really didn't know like what was it for. But really, Sakura was coming into play there. And then plus Shinji, yeah, he was making Ryder or Medusa, he was making her weaker to begin with anyways. I guess that's why Ryder keeps on getting taken out so easily. Because I'm like, can I at least see her do something? Yo. Because, like, she get taken out in an instant. Like, the instant you see her, it's like either that episode or the episode after, she's just taken out. I'm like, I haven't even seen her do anything yet. Let alone even take off the mask yet. Yeah, show her eyes. Because I know she shows her eyes. You can at least see it. But yeah, oh, and also the waiver. Yeah, I did see something like that. Yeah, some anime that had him in it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, well, I already knew they the wands were pretty special, anyways. Made from like the third magic, I think. If I remember that correctly, made from the third magic, and then just falls into the hands of Ren and Luvia. And also, yeah, I'm currently looking at Prisma Ia right now. So if you guys want to see those reactions, you can. And yeah, I just watched a pretty crazy episode. What was it? Season 2, episode 2, actually. Yeah, 2. Yeah, some things happened there. That's all I'm gonna say. Actually, all types of stuff be happening. I know I'm gonna be seeing way more now. Like, man. But yeah, if you guys want to see that, you can. Yeah, I got all the season 1 up right now. But yeah, I'm gonna just end this one off here. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.